धारा, भारत माँ की सेवा में गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
भारतीय संस्कृति का वैभव जग में सबसे न्यारा, ज्ञान और विज्ञान यहीं से सबने पाया सारा, सबने पाया सारा। कुछ भूलों से हारा, फिर से जीते देश हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
त्यागशील सेवा व्रतधारी युवा जगे पुरुषार्थी, वैज्ञानिकता विनय सभ्यता स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी, स्वभाव हो निस्वार्थी। देशभक्ति में तेजस्वी हो फिर समाज यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे,
जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ, जय भारत माँ, जय गीता माँ।
महावीर गोविंद शिवाजी बुद्ध गगन के तारे, परंपरा की पुण्य चेतना उर में हम सब धारे, उर में हम सब धारे। बाल हृदय में उसे जगाकर जगे देश यह सारा, गीता परिवार हमारा, गीता परिवार हमारा।
चंदन है इस देश की माटी,
चंदन है इस देश की माटी,
चंदन है इस देश की माटी।
हम है रमण बिहारी के।
रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा,
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
कामन दुनियादारी से,
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी की।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
साधु सेवा धर्म हमारा।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
कामन दुनियादारी से।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमरे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
ठाकुर हमारे रमण बिहारी, हम है रमण बिहारी के।
हरि शरणं, हरि शरणं, हरि शरणं।
हरि शरणं, 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 हरि
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीसति लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु लील्योताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज सम्हारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम बचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरै हनुमत बलबीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
सच्चिदानन्दम् वासुदेवम् व्रजप्रियम् धर्मसंस्थापकम् वीरम् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna and a very warm welcome to all sadhaks gathered this evening for the first Vivechan session of Chapter 11, Vishwarup Darshana Yoga. At the start, I bow my head in devoted reverence on the lotus feet of Bhagavan Shri Krishna and Param Pujya Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj. May we always be fortunate to receive their guidance and blessing in our lives. Chapter 11 is probably the most unique adhyaya of Bhagavadgītā. In this chapter, Arjuna requests Sri Krishna to show him his Vishwarup, the cosmic form, the divine cosmic form. Bhagwan grants Arjuna Divya Drishti or divine vision to see his infinite form that comprises all the universes. Contrary to the other chapters, which is primarily an intellectual dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, here Bhagwan transforms himself into a divine manifestation and shows Arjuna some of his power. Through the visual experience, Bhagwan has moved from an intellectual to an experiential approach of teaching here. What Arjuna sees both dazzles and mortifies him, as in the infinite form lies the balance between the creative and the destructive power of Paramatma. We are fortunate that through a set of 4 Vivechan sessions, we too will get the opportunity to view this imagery of Bhagwan. Bhagwan has said in Bhagavadgītā, Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti puravakam dadami buddhi yogantai yena mam upayantite. He says, to attain him is to always have our mind united with him in loving devotion. And we all know that prayers are the natural mode through which our soul communicates its prayers and obeisance to the Paramatma. To lead us in our prayers today, I call upon Shwetambari Prajapati ji from Ambedkar Nagar, Uttar Pradesh. Post-education in industrial safety management and an MBA, Shwetambari ji is currently a homemaker after having careers in marketing and real estate. Her interest in learning has led her to acquire a master's degree in Bhagavad-Gītā. She joined Geeta Pariwar in April 2023 and now gives seva as a technical assistant. Didi, may I request you to take us through the prayers?
Jai Shri Krishna. वसुदेव सुतं देवं कंसचारूढमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. जय श्री कृष्ण.
Thank you, Shwetambari ji, for rendering the prayer so mellifluously. It was divine. In Bhagavad Gita, Bhagwan has also said that he is the source of light in all luminaries and is entirely beyond the darkness of ignorance. Geeta ji is the medium Bhagwan has used to illumine our lives with that light. For doing the deep Prajwalan today, I would like to call upon Ranjana Rajendra Muleji from Nashik, Maharashtra. Didi is retired from service after working for 35 years in BSNL. Her interest lies in yoga, pranayama, and reading. Didi joined us at Geeta Pariwar in July 24, and in addition to being a L3 sadhak and giving seva as a technical assistant, has completed Vishnu Sahasranam, Ramakrishna Stotra, and Hanuman Chalisa studies. Didi, may I request you to please light the lamp of knowledge on our behalf.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्च छुरित इव संभिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृतां कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you so much, Ranjana ji, for taking us into your divine mandir for the Deep Prajwalan. And before we proceed with the Vivechan session, an exciting announcement. With the grace of Param Pujya Swamiji, it is a matter of great fortune that the Geeta Maitri Milan Utsav is being organized on Friday, the 24th of January, between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the Mahakumbh. Also, sadhaks from Geeta Pariwar are going to be present with great enthusiasm at the Mahakumbh from 20th January to 12th February to spread the divine knowledge of Geeta ji. If any of you who would like to join the Geeta Maitri Milan Utsav or give this unique Prachar Seva at the Mahakumbh, please register on the links that have been given on the chat box. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm sure all of us would like to come closer to Bhagwan through it. And also a quick reminder to share the link for our Geeta Parivar website and our Vivechan library with your communities. You can share the Zoom, YouTube, as well as the Facebook links for the weekend Vivechans. And they can come and join us even if they are yet to become sadhaks of Geeta Parivar. And now I'm profoundly delighted and honored to introduce our speaker this evening, Vikas ji Vaidya. Vikas ji, with proficiency in 6 languages, imparts valuable perspectives and knowledge through his innumerable commentaries. A bachelor in mechanical engineering, he runs an IT company from Pune. Over the last 5 years, Vikas ji has been reciting the entire 18 chapters of Bhagavadgītā every day. As a senior trainer of Geeta Parivar, he not only serves as a trainer, but is involved in the process of selection and training new trainers. He teaches and conducts Vivechan sessions as a member of the Pune chapter of Geeta Parivar. He guides aspiring Geeta Vratis for the Geeta exam conducted by the Sringeri Peeth. In fact, he has aced the Geeta Kanthasthi exam at Sringeri Peeth, for which he was awarded the first prize at the hands of Param Pujya Jagat Guru Shankaracharya ji. I now humbly request Vikas ji to illuminate our minds with the wonderful teaching of Bhagavad Gita. Bhaiya.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि-कोटि नमन. जय श्री कृष्ण to all. Today we'll start a new adhyay, Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga, 11th adhyay Bhagavad Gita. Before we start reading of the adhyay, let us discuss a few things which are relevant to this adhyay. A small story about Swami Vivekananda first. Swami Vivekananda, one of the foremost disciples of Swami Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he used to say that the religion is for realization of God. And nothing else can satisfy us. Unless the religion introduces us to the God, it makes us realize the God, nothing can satisfy us. And as a teenager, then he was called Narendra. He was not a Swami Vivekananda at that time. So as a Narendra, he had struggled with all sorts of doubts, like many young people of today also have about the life. He was tormented by the questions about meaning of life. What is life? Why I am born? What is the ultimate destination I am going to reach? What is the objective of my life? All these questions used to come to his mind. He searched the worlds of literature and philosophy, but could not find an answer that could satisfy him. Then he turned to highly regarded spiritual gurus, spiritual teachers, and to each of them he used to pose a blunt question. The question was, have you seen the God? And always the reply used to be, no, we have not seen the God. We are talking about God, but we have not seen the God. Finally, he heard of the saint who lived quietly at a little temple outside Calcutta. Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Narendra found his way there and he went straight up to this little man, Ramakrishna Paramahansa, to ask the same burning question he had asked to all other spiritual gurus. Have you seen the God? Swami Ramakrishna Paramahansa, he smiled at Narendra and he replied, of course I have seen, young man. I have seen the God. I see God more clearly than what I am seeing you now. You I see with my physical eyes, but God I see with every cell of my being. That clearly I see the God. Now this quiet authority, which can come only from experiential knowledge, not by theoretical knowledge, not by bookish knowledge, but by really realizing the God, is the stamp of vision of God. After establishing in this vision, the God conscious person may seem to be quite ordinary. In appearance, he may be like us only. But under this surface of appearance, this personality, he or she is no longer a separate, fragmented creature like us, but he is a part of that irresistible love force whom we call as the God. Now the God is going to show his Vishwarup to us. This God, who is all pervading, is going to show this Vishwarup to us in this adhyay called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. The number of shlokas in this adhyay is 55. Chanda of adhyas, Anushtup Chanda has 19 shlokas. Drishtup Chanda has 36 shlokas. Speakers of shlokas are Arjuna will speak 32 shlokas and Bhagavan Shri Krishna 14 shlokas and Sanjay has 9 shlokas. Now a brief summary of this adhyay. What you are going to learn? What is the purpose of learning this adhyay? And what exactly is mentioned by Arjuna, by Bhagavan Shri Krishna and by Sanjay in this adhyay? A short summary of all that. Now we know in adhyay 10, which we have concluded, Shri Krishna described his divine vibhutis, glories, opulences, basically to nourish and increase Arjuna's devotion. And at the end of 10th adhyay, Shri Krishna had mentioned that all his vibhutis, in fact the entire cosmos, manifest from just a spark of his splendor. Ekanshena sthito jagat. Last book of 10th adhyay is Adhava bhavanaitena kenjnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam krishnam ekanshena sthito jagat. Ekanshena sthito jagat. So everything is in my small fragment. This obviously raised Arjuna's curiosity, who now wanted to know how that cosmic form of God will be, where he is holding all the vibhutis, entire cosmos, in just a fraction of him. What is this Ekavashena Sthito Jagat? In this adhyay, Arjuna requests to Shri Krishna to show his Vishwarup, the infinite cosmic form of gods, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. He observes in that Vishwarup unlimited faces, unlimited eyes, unlimited arms, and unlimited stomachs. In that wonderful and infinite form of the God, the form has no beginning or end and extends infinitely in every direction. The splendor of that form is more than 1,000 suns blazing together in the sky. That was the effulgence, the splendor of that Vishwarupa. The vision makes Arjuna perplexed when he sees that Vishwarup is here standing on the end, Romanchit. He sees the three worlds trembling in fear of God's laws. He witnesses the celestial gods taking shelter of that Vishwarup of Shri Krishna and great sages praising him with profuse hymns and prayers. He observes all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings, rushing headlong in the fire-emitting mouth of that universal form. This was like the patangas rushing with great speed into the fire to perish. Arjuna sees the Vishwarup chewing those warriors with this in the mouth with his terrible ghastly teeth. And with heads of many of those warriors who are entering into the fearsome mouth of that universal form, the heads of many of them are getting stuck in the horrible, terrible, scary teeth of that Vishwarup. Some are trying to slip out from the mouth, and Vishwarup pushes them back in the mouth with his tongue. Lili yase grisa manas samantar. We'll read that slok also. Arjuna had never imagined. What he was saying was horrible, terrible, never imagined, beyond his imagination. Human mind can imagine many things, but this was beyond his imagination. He had never imagined that his friend Shri Krishna, who was just sitting next to him some time back, he knows now that he is not an ordinary person, he is a Paramatma's manifestation. But he could not believe that Paramatma's manifestation could be such terrible, fearsome and scary. All of us also know that, rather believe that Paramatma is all goody-goody, always smiling, Shri Krishna having flute in his hand, having a crown on his head, and always having a smiling face. But is Paramatma really all goody-goody? He is all. He is Sattva, Rajo, Tamo, and beyond that. And now Paramatma is saying his Tamasi and Rajasi Roop in this Vishwarupa. We have seen in other adhyas, Paramatma's Sattvic Roop. This adhyaya will show us his Rajasi and Tamasi Roop. So Arjuna then confesses that beholding the terrible, scary universal form, his heart is trembling with fear. And he has lost his peace of mind. Terrified, he wishes to know the identity of this awesome, terrifying God. Who are you? Who bears no resemblance to the Shri Krishna he had known as his friend and as his spiritual teacher. Shri Krishna responds by saying that in the form of time, Mahakal is the destroyer of all the three worlds. And he has appeared there to kill the people on the battlefield. He declares that the great Kaurava warriors, Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Karna, etc., have already been killed by him, by that Mahakal. So being assured of the victory, Arjuna should get up and fight. In response, Arjuna praises that universal form of Krishna who possesses infinite valor, power, and offers him repeated salutations. He asks for forgiveness because as a friend, he has called Sri Krishna with different names. Sakheti Matma Prasvam Yaduktam, Hey Krishna, Hey Yadav, Hey Sakheti. He is called with any names. Hey Yadav, come here, something like that. So he asks for forgiveness if during their long friendship he has ever done anything to offend the Lord by mistaking him for a mere human being. He requests for Sri Krishna's grace and requests him further to once again see the pleasing form of God. I cannot see this Vishwarup anymore. Sri Krishna grants his desire because we know from 10th Adhyaya, Pandava, Dhananjaya. Among Pandavas, I am the Dhananjaya, I am the Shri Arjuna. So Arjuna being the Vibhuti of Lord Shri Krishna, how can he decline his request? Isn't it? So first he returns to the four-armed Vishnu robe and then to his gentle and loving two-armed Shri Krishna form. He tells Arjuna how difficult it is to have a vision of the God in the manner that Arjuna is seeing him now. His personal form cannot be seen by the study of Vedas or by tapas, penance, by charity, by yajna. Nothing can get him. Nobody can see him in this form by performing any of this. He can be attained only by unflinching, unalloyed devotion alone. That alone can know him as he is, standing before the Arjuna, and enters into union with him. So, after studying this adhyaya, what do we gain? What do we gain by realizing this all-pervading, He has his eyes everywhere. His mouth, his faces are everywhere. When we know the God like this, it changes our daily behavior. We get scared that God is watching us. His eyes are everywhere. A small story about this. Do we know that there is someone who is watching us at every moment? Once upon a time, there was an honest old man. One day, he had to go to another city with lot of luggage, huge amount of luggage. So he decided to travel by train. When he went to buy the train ticket, he was pleased to see that the ticket seller was an old acquaintance of him who knew him very well. The seller greeted the elderly man and he said, "Please don't worry about paying your luggage. I will be on the same train, so I will arrange for it. I will make sure that no questions you are asked about your big, huge luggage. Don't have to pay. I am there. I will take care. Don't worry." The old man asked him, "Till where you will travel?" The seller told him the name of the station where he will go up to. The old man, who had to go further, asked, "And who will go with me after that station? I have to go further." The seller replied that, "I will ask the guard of the train who is on the duty to let you travel without any problem. The guard of the train is a good friend of mine. I will tell him to take care of you." Then the old man asked him emphatically, "How far that guard will be traveling? How far he will help me?" The sailor, he replied, "He will accompany you till the end of the journey." The old man told him, "But my journey will not end there." The surprised ticket seller asked him, "Where do you want to go really?" The elderly man said, "I have to go beyond these earthly stations. After death, I will go to see the Lord. Then which guard will accompany me and help me to go further?" The ticket seller had no answer. He understood what the old man meant. The elderly man then explained to the ticket seller, "The train is not your property, and you have no right to allow anyone to carry extra luggage and travel without paying the fare." He said, "I may be able to fool the authorities of this world, but how will I hide from the creator of the universe? Ultimately, I have to settle my dues with him. Who will accompany me to go to him?" The ticket seller was deeply impacted by this statement from the old man to the core of his heart. So when there is love in the heart and we walk on the path of truth, then honesty will prevail in our existence. And this is what we realize when we read this adhyay, that God is watching us. Let's not do something wrong. Our existence in mind, word, and deed will be an expression of our honesty. And that automatically starts coming in our behavior. Then it is our presence that will trigger the moral direction for us. So how we use our resources defines our character. Our resources, our internal faculties. Which are the faculties? Our mind, our intelligence, our ego. Then time and external resources like the money, the power, etc. So how to put proper use of these resources, that we come to know when we follow the path of honesty. We should better use all this for the right purpose. So this is all we are going to realize in this adhyay, that we should change our behavior if we are not behaving like this, because God is watching us. Vishwarup has his eyes everywhere. He has his hands everywhere. So let us be careful. God is watching us. Okay, with this brief, now we'll start reading the adhyay. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Bhagavadgītā अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यमध्यात्मसंज्ञितं यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम. Mata anugrahaya, because madanugrahaya. Mata anugrahaya, just to show me the favor. Anugraha is showing favor, showing grace. Madanugrahaya, just to show me the favor. Paramam, supreme. Guhyam, confidential. Adhyatma, spiritual. Sanjnitam in the subject matter of yet which tvaya by you uktam. Uktam is said. Vacha. Vacha is the statement, the words. Tena by that moha illusion. Ayam this vigata. Vigata is gone. Destroyed. Dispelled. Not destroyed exactly, but eliminated. Dispelled. And mama is my. So Arjuna says, having heard the supremely confidential spiritual knowledge which Paramatma has given him from 2nd Adhyaya onwards till 10th Adhyaya, which you have revealed out of compassion for me, Madhanugrahaya, my illusion is gone, is dispelled. But whatever has gone may come back. The words used here by Maharishi Vedavyas is Vigata and not Nashta. Nashta Shabda word is reserved for the 18th Adhyaya. When Arjuna says, Nashto moha smritir labdha, here he says Vigata, that means gone. But gone has come back, may come back. Whatever is Nashta will not come back. So Nashto moha smritir labdha tat prasadan mayachita is reserved for the 18th Adhyaya. Because even after this Adhyaya, Arjuna keeps asking questions. Isn't it? Only at the end of 18th Adhyaya, he says, Nashto moha smritir labdha tat prasadan mayachita sitosmida sandeha karishye vachanantav. Now Arjuna rejoices on hearing about Shri Krishna's vibhutis and many adhyayas which we discussed in 10th Adhyaya, and then he believes that his illusion is now dispelled. He has not accepted that Shri Krishna is not merely his friend but also the supreme divine God, who is the source of all opulences, vibhutis in the world, in the cosmos. He is therefore gratefully acknowledging Shri Krishna's compassion and grace, anugraha, in revealing such invaluable knowledge. The delusion that Arjuna referred to was his delusion of attachment to the body. To believe that he was a body and all his kin standing in the battlefield were also all bodies. Therefore, by killing them, he would incur the sin, the papa, and miss the moksha. If you commit pap, how can you attain moksha? So his worry was that. From chapter 2 onwards, Ashokchanam na shochasam pradhyavadam shabhasasya gatasu na gatasam cha nanu shochanti pandita. From this sloka onwards, Bhagavan Shri Krishna explained in different ways to Arjuna that soul, the Brahma, was the reality, and this phenomenal universe, Jagat, Srishti, and men were not. Jagat Mithya, Brahma Satya. Chapter 7 onwards, Bhagavan has dealt at length to explain to Arjuna his various divine powers, his various divine glories, his manifestations to enlighten Arjuna. In Adhyaya 7, Jnana Vijnana Yoga. Adhyaya 8, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Adhyaya 9, Raja Vidya Raja Gurya Yoga. Adhyaya 10, Vibhuti Yoga. And before that also, in 2nd Adhyaya, Sankhya Yoga. 3rd Adhyaya, Karma Yoga. 4th Adhyaya, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. 5th Adhyaya, Karma Sannyasa Yoga. And 6th Adhyaya, Atma Sanyam Yoga. So the flow of knowledge is continuing uninterruptedly from Sri Krishna to Arjuna. This is like, when you go to a sari shop, the seller will first show you the saris, and after judging your capacity, what is your buying capacity, then he will show a wide variety with no price barrier. Now, after seeing Arjuna's capacity and capability, Sri Krishna is imparting the knowledge in every adhyaya. We can however see that till 9th adhyaya, Arjuna was still retaining his ego as a normal human being. Okay, Shri Krishna is superior, but I am also okay. I am not so bad. I am not so weak. So he was treating himself as he had his ego as a normal human being and was having the sense of doership, kartatva abhiman. What takes place? I am going to kill all. That was the doership sentiment he had. Probably he, due to very close relationship with Krishna, as a childhood friend, did not realize the supreme divinity that his friend really was. Otherwise, after listening to him from second adhyay till ninth adhyay, you would have realized. But there is a saying, Ati Parachaya causes avadnya. That means you start ignoring. If you know somebody deeply, then you start ignoring his good points also, his positive points also. But when Shri Krishna revealed his 82 vibhutis encompassing the living, non-living, sura, asura, pitara, weapons, warriors, etc. in 10th adhyay, Arjuna started realizing that Shri Krishna, the one sitting and driving his chariot, was the supreme power. The epitome was when Shri Krishna said at the end of 10th adhyay that he was holding the entire cosmos in a fragment of his. Adava bhavanetena kintyantena tavarjuna vishtabhyaham krishnam ekanshena sthito jagat. This obviously aroused extreme curiosity in Arjuna, and he wanted to behold that cosmic form where God with all his opulences could be seen. You see, all other adhyayas of Bhagavad-gītā are in the text form, in the word form. This adhyay, Vishwarupa Darshan Yoga, is in the video form. If you care to listen every word of this adhyay with full concentration, when the description of Vishwarup starts from Shri Krishna, from Sanjay and Arjuna, then you will realize that this is a really videography. The more contemplation you do on each shloka of this adhyay, the video film will keep taking rounds in your mind. With every reading of this wonderful adhyay, you can virtually behold this Vishwarup in your mind every day if you read this adhyay and understand each word, each shloka. You will start seeing Shri Krishna in your mind every day. This is the easiest way of Shri Krishna darshan every day. So this adhyay will give us darshan of Shri Krishna every day if we understand what this Vishwarup really means. Okay, with this we go to next shloka. Bhavapyo hi bhutanam shruto vistarasho maya kattah kamala patraksha mahatmam apicha vyayam. Bhavapyo, appearance and disappearance. Bhava is to appear. So Bhavapyo, appearance and disappearance. Utpatti and Vinash. Bhutanam. Bhutanam is all living entities. Shruto, have been heard. Vistarasho, in details. Maya, by me. Vatta, from you. Kamala Patraksha. Aksha is the eyes. Kamala Patraksha, lotus-eyed. Kamala Nayan. Mahatmyam, glories. Api, also. Avyayam, inexhaustible. Avinashi. So Arjuna says, I have heard from you in detail about the appearance and disappearance, about Utpatti and Vinash of all living beings. O lotus-eyed Krishna, and also about your eternal magnificence. Now Arjuna is acknowledging two things in particular. That God is the cause of creation and dissolution of all beings. This one thing he has acknowledged, including the universe, which means that all beings emanate from him, are provided by him, and at the end return to him, to the God. This has removed the ego of Arjuna, due to which he thought himself to be the doer of actions and things. Secondly, that God is eternal source of mercy, eternal source of grace, eternal source of compassion, due to which he explained the supreme secret and supreme knowledge of yoga to Arjuna, with the examples of various glories and manifestations. Here, this is Krishna with the word Kamala Patraksha, meaning whose eyes are like lotus flower. Lotus flower is which is large, soft, and beautiful, and endowed with attributes of sweetness and gentleness. Arjuna implies in this shloka, O Shri Krishna, I have heard from you about your imperishable majestic glories. Although you are present within all, yet you are untainted by their imperfections. We say the God is in us, but the God is not affected. He doesn't get tainted with our bad karmas that we do. Although you are the supreme controller, yet you alone are the non-doer. And you are not responsible for our actions. Freedom of action we are given to all of us. Although you bestow the result of our karmas, you are impartial and equal to all. You are equipoised to all. You are the supreme witness and the dispenser of results of our action. I thus conclude that you are the subject of adoration of all beings. So these are the acknowledgement Arjuna is making to Shri Krishna in this shloka. Further, we go to third shloka. एवमेतद्यथा तत्त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम. Etat is this. Evam is thus. Yatha means as it is. Athya means you are telling. Atmanam, yourself. Parameshwara, Supreme Lord. Drashtum is to seeing. Ichhami, I wish. Te, your. Rupam, form. Aishwaram, divine. And Purushottama, best of all. Purushottama. So Arjuna says, O Supreme Lord, you are what you declare yourself to be. In 10th Adhyaya, Paramatma has explained at length what he is. So Arjuna is acknowledging that and saying, O Supreme Lord, you are what you declare yourself to be. Now, I desire to see Ichhami, your divine cosmic form, O greatest of persons, Purushottama. Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as the greatest person because no other personality can be equal to him. How can he be? Isn't it? Often scholars, basing their opinion on some bookish, dry intellectual analysis, they have difficulty in accepting the concept of God as a person. They want to perceive God as only an impersonal light, without attributes, without virtues, without qualities, without forms. However, when we tiny souls possess a personality, then why should we deny a personality to the Supreme Lord? We can have a personality. God cannot have personality, is it? Not only can he have the personality, but he also has the best personality. And therefore, he is the supreme divine personality. The difference between our personality and God's personality is that he is not only a perfect person, but he also has his impersonal, all-pervading aspect, which we don't have, of course, which is devoid of attributes and forms. Arjuna declares that he accepts the personality of Shri Krishna's divine personality precisely as has been described to him by Shri Krishna himself. He has complete faith in his personal form, and yet he desires to see Shri Krishna, his Vishwarup, or the universal form, complete with all glories, with all opulences. He wishes to see it with his own eyes. Not that Arjuna doubted any of Shri Krishna's declarations, but it was due to the wonder of these glories that Arjuna was tempted to see all that with his own eyes. Further, he requests, now he realizes that, okay, I have requested Paramatma to show me his universal cosmic form, but do I really deserve it? Can I see it? So he is transferring this decision making to Shri Krishna, saying that Manyaseditachakyam maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshwara tato me tvan darshayatmanam avyayam. Manyase means you think. Yadi means same in Hindi. Yadi means if. Tat, that. Shakyam is able, is possible. Maya, by me. Drashtum, to be seen. Iti, thus. Prabho, Lord. Yogeshwar, the Lord of mystic power, Lord of yogas. Tata, then, me, to me. Tvam, you. Darshaya, show. Atmanam, yourself. Avyayam, eternal, inexhaustible, avinashi, imperishable. Oh Lord, if you think, Manyasiri the Chakyam, if you think that it is possible for me to behold your cosmic form, then, O Krishna, kindly show me your indivisible, imperishable form. This is the word meaning. Now, this shloka will put us in puzzle. See, Bhagavadgītā is such a scripture that people can draw different meanings of different shlokas according to their way of thinking, according to their intellect. We must understand that Arjuna is asking the Lord to show. Show means show. His Tattva Swarup, core essence, the ultimate reality, the absolute truth, and not any rupa, not any physical form or image. Manifest appearance or image is a form where the ultimate reality, the absolute essence, is formless. So if you want to see the ultimate reality, absolute essence in the form, it is not possible. So wanting the Lord to show the formless as a form, one side you are imperishable, but whatever is form, it perishes, isn't it? Whatever comes in the form, it perishes. No form is imperishable. Does the Sri Krishna in his original form available today? What he was 500,000 years back? Can we see Sri Krishna today? He has to relinquish his body. His form he had to give up. Formless Krishna, yes, he is available today also. He is watching us. He is listening to our Geeta. He is in the formless state as cosmic imperishable form. Yes, he is there. But Krishna as a physical form is not there anymore. Thus, we must understand that Arjuna is not desirous of seeing any form, physical form, but rather he wants Sri Krishna to show him the indivisible real self, the core essence, the ultimate reality. Many people don't agree with this. And they insist that Arjuna wanted to see Krishna's huge, super colossal, sky-touching image. When his head is touching the sky, his body has expanded so much that he has occupied entire space between earth and sky, all that. And which they call as Vishwarup. Arjuna is in effect requesting Shri Krishna to grace him with the eye of knowledge, Jnana Chakshu. That will enable him to see, means to experience. See means not physically seeing by eyes. To experience Lord's immutable, inexhaustible, indivisible, universal form. The ultimate reality. The absolute essence. And if we understand that this shloka in this perspective, that form is not what Arjuna wanted to see. He wanted to understand the real essence of Sri Krishna. When he is holding all the devotees in one fragment of him. Then we will not get caught up in some vivid imagination in the next coming shlokas, which in brief is as follows. So it is said that in order to show Arjuna his cosmic form, Shri Krishna, he quickly expanded his physical body to such an vastly enormous proportions that his head touched the space, the sky. What's more, several other heads of Brahma, Indra, Yama, Rudra, Agni, and scores of other demigods and demigoddesses, they sprung up and joined with the heads of Lord Shri Krishna. This is what some people imagine. Now this super colossal towering mammoth image is what is being described as Vishwarupa, the universal macrocosmic form. Now many people think that seeing invariably means visual sight, seeing by eyes. But that is not really so. Seeing is not always by eyes. For example, when at home the wife or the mother cooks a vegetable and asks you to see if the salt content is appropriate. देखो तो सब्जी में नमक बराबर है क्या? This happens, no? Do you really scrutinize the vegetable with your eyes? to check the quantity of salt? It is just a matter of speaking. Dekho to. Just see. The only way you can check the salt content is by testing it. Likewise, it is common to use the word see in the context of mind. For example, despite the smile on your face, I can see that you are not happy. Now, how can you see someone happiness or sadness with your eyes? The child says to his father, Dad, just see if this problem can be solved. Or the person sees me as a humorous guy. Or that fellow sees me as utter bore. So how all these things can be seen, they have to be experienced, no? Bottom line is that when you say you see not only through your eyes, but also through your mind and intellect. Thus Arjuna says to Shri Krishna, I want to see the universal form. He is not desirous of seeing any form, but rather he wants to experience. He wants to fathom, he wants to take anubhuti of that Lord's real essence through his intellect and through his mind. So this is what we should understand as the meaning of seeing. Seeing is not necessarily by seeing by eyes only. But those who want to believe that Sri Krishna really expanded his body and his head touched the sky and the entire space between earth and sky was filled with his body, they are free to believe that. Nothing wrong. Choice is yours, whatever way. Vishwarup, whether you understand as manifestation of Krishna's body expanding to that level, is also okay. If you understand that Arjuna wanted to experience it, seeing is not physically by eyes, but to experience it, to take anubhuti of that, that also is correct. Whatever you want to think, it is okay. Okay, with this we go to 5th shloka now. 5th shloka. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Pashyame Partha Rupani Shatashota Sahasrashaha Nana Vidhani Divyani Nana Varna Kriti Nicho. Pashya. Pashya means just see. Me is my. Rupani, forms. Shatasha, hundreds. Atha, also. Sahasrasha, thousands. Nana Vidhani, of various types. Divyani, divine. Nana, various. Varna, colors. Akruti, shapes, forms. So Paramatma is now obliging Arjuna by saying that, behold, Partha, you wanted to see my Vishwarup, no? Cosmic form? Behold, my hundreds and thousands of wonderful forms of various shapes, various sizes, and various colors. See it now, Pashya. So after listening to Arjuna's prayers, Shri Krishna now asks him to have the vision of his Vishwarupa or universal form. He uses the word Pashya. Pashya means to behold, to experience, to see, to take anubhuti, to indicate to Arjuna that he must pay his attention now. Although the form is one, it has unlimited features. Unlimited features in one form. And it contains innumerable personalities of multitude shapes, various colors. Shri Krishna uses the phrase Shatashota Sahasrashaha to indicate that they exist in innumerable fashions and multitude ways. The divine form of Shri Krishna, of the God, is supra-worldly, not from this world, it's supra-worldly. It does not have the shape, form, or colors of this material world. The glare, the shine, and the luster of the divine forms are greatly different and intensely are more attractive. These colors and forms are too subtle to be seen with the human eyes, that will go blind and the mind will lose sense if exposed to these divine forms. Only advanced yogis and spiritual masters who have developed the capability by spiritually culturing their mind and their senses can see the subtle forms and colors. Ordinary people like us cannot. So having said that, Paramatma says further in Shlok number 6. Shlok number 6 says, पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्चाश्चर्याणि भारत. What Arjuna should see in that cosmic form, that Arjuna is elaborating now. He says, Pashya is see Adityan, the sons of Aditi. Aditi and Kashyap Rishi, they had 12 sons. Who are those? We'll see that. So Adityan are 12 sons of Aditi. Vasun, 8 Vasus, Agni Devta. Rudran, 11 Rudras. Ashwino, 2 Ashwini Kumar. Ashwini Kumar are supposed to be the doctors, the Vaidya of the Svargaloka. Maruta, the wind god. There are 49 of them. Tatha also, and Bahuni, many. Adruštapurvam, which have not been seen before. Pashya, see, Ashcharyani, wonderful forms. Bharata is calling for Arjuna, Bharata. So Paramatma says, behold in me, O Bharata, the 12 sons of Aditi, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, and the twin Ashwini Kumars, as well as 49 Maruts, wind gods. And many more marvels never revealed before. The universal form of the Lord, it not only contains the marvels that exist on the earth, but also the wonders that exist on the higher planetary systems, never before seen in this manner. He further reveals that the celestial gods are all very tiny fragment of his divine form. He shows 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, and 2 Ashwini Kumar. If you make a total of this, 12 plus 8, 20, plus 11, 31, plus 2 Ashwini Kumar, 33. 33 is the type of gods. In Sanskrit, it is called Koti. Koti does not mean crores, but there is a misunderstanding that Hindus, Sanatana Dharma has 33 crores gods. 33 figure has come from this. 12 Adityas, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, and 2 Ashwini Kumar. Marut Ganas are not considered as devas. They are not gods. They were asuras first, and then their souls got elevated, so they are not counted in this 33. 49 Marutas are different. So 12 sons of Aditi are Dhata, Mitra, Aryama, Shakra, Varuna, Amsha, Bhaga, Vivaswan, Pusha, Savita, Tvashta, and Vaman. Vaman avatar we know. 8 Vasus are Dhara, Dhruva, Soma, Aha, Anila, Anala, Pratyusha, and Prabhasu. 11 Rudras are Hara, Bahurupa, Trambaka, Aparajita, Vrishkapi, Shambhu, Kapardi, Raivata, Mrugavyadha, Sharva, and Kapali. Similarly, there are 49 names of Marut also. We will not read all of them. Satya Jyoti, Aditya, Sattva Jyoti, Tirya Jyoti, many names are there, 49 names. So Paramatma is inviting Arjuna now to see all these 12 sons of Aditi, 8 Vasus, 11 Rudras, 2 Ashwini Kumars, as well as 49 Marut Devata, the wind gods. Further, Paramatma says, Ihaikastai jagat krusnam pashyadya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yachanya drashtamicchasi. Ihaikastam. Iha means here in this. Ekastham, in one place. Jagat. Jagat is the universe, cosmos. Krishnam. Krishnam is complete, total, entire. Pashya, see. Adya, now. Adya. Characharam. Some is with. Characharam, moving and non-moving. Mama, my. Dehe, in this body, cosmic form. Gudakesha, Arjuna. Yata, that which. Cha means also. Anyata, other. Drashtum, to see. Ichhasi, you wish. So Paramatma now says to Arjuna, behold Arjuna, the entire universe with everything moving and non-moving, Sacharacharam, assembled together in my universal form. Yahi kastam jagat kristam. Whatever else you wish to see, observe it all within this universal form. Anyata also, whatever else you want to see, you can see in this universal form. Now here the Lord is asking Arjuna to behold the entire universe. See, the state of man is such that his vision is only confined to himself. That too only to the body and the tiny bit of his mind. He does not look at his real form. What to say about the universal? We don't know our real form. We know as only our body. Do we know what really we are? We don't know. We have not achieved that Atmajnan so far. We are seeing our physical form, body only. So what to say about universal form? So can we? We can understand this is another way. Just as in order to give the child a generic perspective of the world of geography, the mother or the teacher often shows the child different pictures hailing from different parts of the world. For example, pictures of Amazon, pictures of Sahara Desert, the Grand Canyon, the Great Wall of China, the Eiffel Tower, the pyramids of Egypt, and so on and so forth. These words get associated with a particular image in the child's mind. However, have you ever experienced that at the times the cycle of the orator is such that a vivid scene comes alive right before your eyes? If the speaker is expert, he can create the image in front of your eyes. He's not using any projector, but his words are so powerful that the image stands in front of your eyes when you are listening to him. At that time, words take the visual form. And this is also true that sensitive ones. Similarly, it is the case of those who read novels. Novels with deep concentration they read. For them, the stories written on the pages do not remain mere stories, but rather become the life scenes in front of their eyes. Those people who read horror stories, they will know it. Reading horror story in the night and imagining that all the characters are dancing in front of us now. So at dusk, people talk about tales of ghosts and witches. They also get carried away so much that a mere fluttering of wings of a tiny sparrow can get them screaming, "Oh, kya ho gaya?" As if the ghost has really come, has really actually appeared. So words and state of your mind thus create a visual impact in such a way that the words actually become alive. Likewise, Shri Krishna is imparting a visually imagery through his words. Pasha, 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 and all other words used in the previous 2-3 shlokas. Thus he says to Arjuna, see, behold this entire universe as being situated in just one part of my body. After hearing Krishna's instructions to behold his form, Arjuna wonders where to see. I am not able to see anything. Shri Krishna states that it is within his body of the Supreme Divine. There you will see the infinite universes with all their moving and non-moving entities. Every entity exists in the universal form, and so do the events of past and future. Arjuna will thus be able to see the victory of Pandavas and defeat of Kauravas when he sees all this happening, when he sees the future. The Vishwarupa is showing the past, the present and the future, everything. Because for Paramatma there is no Kal. Paramatma is Kalatit. Everything is present for him. So all these things can be seen as a part of that cosmic plan of the universe. That is what Paramatma is inviting Arjuna to see, that cosmic form, and whatever else you want to see, you can see. But Arjuna is not able to see anything. Now, Paramatma probably has realized that I am asking Arjuna to see Pasha, 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 but his expressions are not changing. He is still having that dumb face. Then he realizes that how can he see? He needs to be given Divya Drushti. So Paramatma says, Nadumam Shakyase Drashtum Manenaiva Swachakshusha Divyan Dadamite Chaksha Pashyame Yogameshwaram. How can you see it, Arjuna? You cannot see that. No, never. Tu means but, Mam, me, Shakyase are able to drashtum, to see, anena, with these swachakshusha, your charma chakshu, your material eyes, yogam, mystic power, yogic power, aishwaryam, opulences, the splendor of the vibhutis. So Krishna says, but you will be unable to see this through your present eyes, Arjuna. Therefore, I grant you divine eyesight. Natmam shakyase drashtu manendra saksha divyam dadami te chakshu. Dadami is to give. Dadami is to give. I give you. I grant you the divine sight. Behold my omnipotent, majestic, transcendental power. To see gold in different types of ornaments is easy. You have 10 types of ornaments in front of you. To see the gold in all 10 of them is not difficult task. Anybody can see that. Yes, gold is there in all. But to see different types of ornaments in a block of gold is difficult. If there is a block of gold kept in front of you and you are asked to visualize different ornaments in that block of gold, is it possible for everybody? It would require vision. It would require intellect and also some imagination. So the divine yoga is the power to make impossible possible. That which humanly impossible, to make that possible. Not through some magic, but through the divine law, which is always there and which the advanced yogis can see. For this reason, the God is giving the divine sight to Arjuna. This means not only to see the divine forms, but also the power to understand them with human intelligence, which human intelligence lacks. So when Paramatma gives the Divya Drishti, it is not only the transfer of eyes of God to Arjuna, it is the transfer of mind of God to Arjuna, it is the transfer of mind, intellect to the intellect of Arjuna. Eyes can only physically see, but the analysis is done by mind, by the intellect. So unless Divya Drishti is coupled with God's mind and God's intellect, one cannot understand anything. Physically seeing does not make big sense unless the mind receives that, unless the intellect analyzes it, isn't it? So being aware of his inability, Arjuna had earlier said, if you think I deserve to see the divine form, because no earthly eyes can see the capability, has the capability to see the divine manifestations. Sage Vyas also gave this divine sight to Sanjay to enable him to report the live events of the war to the blind king Dhritarashtra. So he was also able to see, because he also had that Divya Drishti. Now we see this world every day. But there is a marked difference between a poet's view of this world, his vision of this world, an artist's vision, perception of this world, or indeed how a scientist, he envisages this world. The artist sees this world as an assortment of colors, shapes, and textures. Scientist sees this world as matter, particles, energy. A medical student starts looking at people differently, focusing on their skeletal structures, the distance between the eyes, the shape of their nasal cartilage, and so on. So everybody looks at the world differently according to his own intellect. But this medical boy who had this habit of watching, observing people based on their skeletal structures and distance between eyes and all sorts of things, this habit sometimes lands medical students in trouble. One such fellow, on his date with a beautiful girl who lovingly placed her hand on him, he scrutinized her nails and commented rather unromantically, you know what? You have calcium deficiency. Likewise, no one who worships money appraises everyone with a yardstick of wealth. So it depends on his sight, his intellect, his mind. In short, every individual has a different view of this world. What you see beautiful people in all their finery, enjoying, having fun in a party, a fakir will see them as no more than dead bodies. Fakir will say, these are all dead bodies. They are walking up to death every moment. He is not seeing their beauty at all. They are walking up to their grave. So in effect, we don't live in the same world, but rather we live in a world of our own. And Shri Krishna is saying to Arjuna that I will endow you with such eyesight that will enable you to see my divine form. At present, with your Charma Chakshu, you see individual forms and beings, but by virtue of this special divine sight, you will be able to see my divine essence in all forms. You will then regard every human, every sentient being, every creature as none other than my own form, my own essence. So whatever Supreme Lord descends in this world, he has two kinds of forms when the Lord takes manifestation. One is this material form that can be seen with material eyes. Sri Krishna, everybody could see in his time with the Charma Chakshus. And the other is divine form that can only be seen with the divine vision. Thus human beings do see him during his descension upon the earth, but they only see his material form. His divine form is not visible to their material eyes. That is why the souls in this material world cannot recognize God when he takes the avatar on the earth. Arjuna was such a close friend of Krishna, but did he see Krishna as a supreme God? He saw Krishna as in his physical form, as a normal human being. Shri Krishna mentions in Adhyaya 9th, when I descend in my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know me. They do not know my divine personality as Supreme Lord of all. Avajananti mam mudha manushintanumashritam param bhavajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. They don't know me. So the same story applies to this cosmic form. In the previous two shlokas, Sri Krishna asked Arjuna to see his cosmic form, but Arjuna could see nothing because he had material eyes. The physical eyes are insufficient to see the divine universal form, and the ordinary intellect is unequipped to comprehend it. The Shri Krishna now says that he will grant Arjuna the divine vision with which it will become possible for him to behold the universal form with all its glories. Granting spiritual vision is an act of grace by the Supreme Lord. By this grace, God adds his divine eyes to the soul's material eyes. He adds his divine mind to the soul's material mind, and he adds his divine intellect to the soul's material intellect. Then, equipped with the divine senses, divine mind, and divine intellect of the God, the soul can see his divine form, think of it, and comprehend it. This is what Arjuna will be able to see now, because now he has got the Divya Drishti and also mind and intellect from the God. Okay, let us proceed to next shloka, shloka number 9. Shloka number 9 says, Now the scene changes to the palace of Dhritarashtra. All this was happening on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Now Maharishi Vedavyas takes us to the palace of Dhritarashtra, where Sanjay is narrating the entire thing to King Dhritarashtra. Sanjay now comes into picture. He says, Sanjayam vacho evam uktva tato rajan mahayogeshvaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupamaishwaram. Evam is thus. Uktva, saying, Tata, thereafter, Rajan, O king. Here Rajan is the king Dhritarashtra. Mahayogeshwara, the most powerful yogi, the greatest yogi. Hari is Krishna's name. Darshayamasa, showed, Parthaya, to Arjuna. Paramam, divine. Rupa Aishwaram, universal divine form. So Sanjay says to now, he is saying this to King Dhritarashtra, O king, having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of Yoga, Shri Krishna, displayed his divine and opulent form to Arjuna. Arjuna had referred to Shri Krishna as Yogeshwar in the slok 4th, what we read earlier. In that shloka, Arjuna had said to Shri Krishna as Yogeshwara. Manisita Chakyam Maya Drashtamati Prabho. Yogeshwara Dautometan Darshayat Manamabhyam. Now in this shloka, Sanjay refers to him as Mahayogeshwar, adding the word superlative great to address the Lord of all yogis. Sanjay was also bestowed with the gift of that far-sighted vision by his guru, Maharshi Vedas, and as a result, he also beheld the Lord's cosmic form in the same manner as Arjuna saw it. In the next 4 shlokas, which will be spoken by Sanjaya, Sanjaya describes to Dhritarashtra what Arjuna saw. The Aishwarya means opulence. The cosmic form of God is complete with full manifestation of his vibhutis, his opulences, and it invokes fear, awe, and reverence in the beholder, which Arjuna will express. We will see that. Let us proceed to next shloka. Shloka number 10 and 11 we will take together. 10 shloka. Aneka Vaktra Nayanam, Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, Aneka Divya Bharnan, Divya Nekodhyata Yudham. And 11th is Divya Malyam Bharadaran, Divya Gandhanulepanam, Sarvashcharyamayan Devam, Anantam Vishwato Mukham. In that cosmic form, Arjuna saw unlimited faces, unlimited eyes, decorated with many celestial ornaments and wielding many kinds of divine weapons. He wore many garlands on his body and was anointed with many sweet-smelling fragrances, heavenly fragrances, divine fragrances. Everything belonging to God is divine. He revealed himself as the wonderful and infinite Lord whose faces are everywhere. Sanjay describes upon Sri Krishna's divine universal form with the words Aneka, many, Ananta, unlimited. The entire creation is the body of God's cosmic form, and therefore it contains countless faces, countless eyes, countless mouths, countless shapes, countless colors, and countless forms. The human intellect is conditioned to grasping such things with limited kernel of time, space, and form. The cosmic form of God, it revealed unusual wonders, marvels, and miracles in all directions, transcending the limitations of space and time, because Paramatma is beyond space and time. It could only be termed as incredible. In this supreme vision, the Lord reveals himself as being infinite number of faces. Arjuna sees the Lord in every face, in every creature of the universe. It can fill us with awe to realize that in our parents, in our partners, in our children, in our friends, it is the Lord who is looking into our eyes, listening to us, responding to us. This is why we can learn to love the Lord while living in the midst of our close relationships. We will find the one, Shri Krishna, in everyone, in and around us. Here the Lord appeals to Krishna as the source. He appears to Arjuna as the source of miracles. But do we realize that our life itself is a big miracle? Our every breath, our every heartbeat is a miracle. So are the wind blowing in the trees and the sun shining in the sky? They are also miracles. We do not have to search the universe for miracles. They occur in the morning, in the noon, in the night, every day of our lives. Only our eye is not open to see them. If we were in tune with this continuous miracle of life, we would put an immediate end to all the personal conflicts, to all the greed, to all the hatred, to all the violence, and whatnot. But do we have that internal strength and intellect to come over our weakness? Again, a small story. Once the great philosopher Socrates, he was sitting and having discussion with his disciples. When an astrologer came there, drawing everyone's attention to himself, he said, I can tell about the character and personality of people by looking at their faces and their appearance. Is anyone interested in testing my skills? All the disciples started looking towards the astrologer. Socrates asked the astrologer to tell him something about himself. The astrologer looked at Socrates' face with great interest. Socrates was very simple and unattractive person, as we all know. He was not a very grand personality. He was very ordinary in appearance, but he was known and respected for his wisdom, for his intelligence. After taking the close look, the astrologer, he said to Socrates, looking at your face, I can say that you are an anti-government person with a deep sense of rebellion. Your forehead shows that you are very violent, very aggressive. And before he could say any more, the disciple of Socrates were furious on hearing such words about their master and asked the astrologer to leave immediately. Get out. But Socrates pacified them. And he asked the astrologer to continue what he was saying. The astrologer further said to Socrates, your distorted forehead shows that you are a greedy person, and your chin speaks about your strange nature. Hearing this, the disciple of Socrates became even more angry. But they followed the orders of their master and remained silent. Socrates also asked his disciple to again remain calm. Socrates thanked the astrologer and rewarded him before leaving. All his Shishya's disciples were amazed by this behavior of Socrates, their master. They asked their guru, Guruji, why did you reward the astrologer who insulted you by speaking lies and untruthful things about you? He called you so many bad things. Socrates said, no, everything the astrologer said about me is true. I have all negative traits he mentioned. I am greedy, I am short-tempered, I am awkward. Yes, all that is true. But, this is a big but. The astrologer forgot to point out a very important thing about me. He only saw my outer personality, but he failed to see my inner potential. The inner ability because of which I keep all these evils under control. I know I have evils in me, but my inner capability is so strong that I keep my all evils under control, Socrates said to his disciples. Hearing these words of Guru, all the disciples became calm and content. So mastering our internal world is not difficult. In fact, this ability is available to all of us, but we don't try it. Meditation is the means to develop this ability. In meditation, we learn to master ourselves, and as a result, we are able to function in the world much more effectively. Meditation teaches us to pause, to look into our inner being, to connect with the universal love, to stay fresh, to stay energetic, and to use our potential to the best possible way. The balanced state of mind is the expression of the right attitude of man in different situations and in different activities. In the broadest sense, it is the reflection of his character, how he behaves in all contradicting situations. So can we master our inner world to overcome our weakness? We know we have weaknesses, but can we develop our inner potential so strong that it can take care of our visible weaknesses? As the Socrates said, food for thought. Okay, let us go to Shlok 12 now. Divi Surya Sahasrasya Bhagavadgītā Yadi Bhasadrushi Sasyat Bhasastasya Mahatmanah. Divi Surya Sahasrasya. Divi in the sky. Surya, sun god. Sahasrasya, many thousands. Bhavet, there are Yugapat, simultaneously all together. Utthita, to present, to rise, sunrise. Yadi means if. Bha means the light. Sadrusha, like that. Matched. Sa, that. Syat, could be, might be. Bhasa is effulgence, the light, the great light. Tasya, of him. Mahatmana, the great Lord. If 1,000 suns were to blaze forth together in the sky, they would not match the splendor, the effulgence of that great form. None of us can see directly at the sun without damaging our eyes. For 1 second, maybe, but not more than that. Its power is so immense that a very minute fraction of the energy it radiates into the space diffused over 93 million miles is enough to sustain on our planet. We are 93 million miles away from sun, but the light he emits from there, it is enough for the earth to maintain the life here. Now we are asked to imagine thousands of these suns. We cannot see one sun, and now we are asked to imagine that thousands of suns rising at the same time. The intellect becomes helpless. We just beyond imagination. There are thousand suns are arising together, all together in the sky at the same time. But the greatest wonder is that this tremendous radiance reflected by the sun, it shines within us also. As our spiritual awareness grows, as our spiritual separateness goes off, and our ego dissolves, we will experience a tremendous effulgence, a tremendous light spreading throughout our consciousness, which no experience of senses can ever help us to comprehend. The whole body becomes the light. So we can experience this again through meditation. In this shloka, Sanjay now describes the effulgence of that universal form. To give an idea of its dazzling radiance, he compares thousands of suns blazing all together in the midday sky. Actually, God's effulgence is unlimited. It cannot be quantified in terms of effulgence of sun. The sun's light is material. You can measure it in lumens. That is the measurement of light. God's light is divine, beyond measure. So, no comparison between the sunlight and the God's divine light. However, the narrators often describe the unknown by extrapolating from the known rather. Known is sunlight, unknown is divine light. So to explain what divine light that universal form had, this extrapolation has been done to say that thousands of suns blazing together in the sky. A simile of thousand suns expressed by Sanjay's perception that the splendor of cosmic form had no parallel. Nothing could match that splendor, that effulgence of that cosmic form. Okay, continue with slok number 13 now. Slok number 13 says, Paramatma says, rather now, this was all Sanjay who was saying all this. Tatraikastai jagat krustam arvivaktamani kada apashyadeva devasya sharire pandavastada. Again, Sanjay is describing Tatra. Tatra means there. Ekasyam, in one place. Jagat, the universe. Krishnam, complete. Pravibhaktam, divided. Anekada, many. Apashyat, could be seen, could see. Deva Devasya, of the Supreme Lord. Sharire, in the body of that universal cosmic form. Pandava is calling for Arjuna. Tada, at that time. So there, Arjuna could see the totality of entire universe established in one place, in that body form of God of gods. After describing the wondrous spectacle in the cosmic form, Sanjay now states that it encompassed the entire universe. Even more amazingly, Arjuna saw the totality of existence in the locality of Krishna's body, one small part of Krishna's body. He beheld the entire creation of infinite universes with their manifold divisions of galaxies and planetary systems in a mere fraction of body of the Supreme Lord. Here we have a glimpse of the mystery of the universe, which fills both mystic and scientists with awe. We cannot even look at our sun, and here there are quasars that are millions of times brighter than our sun. There are neutron stars in the universe where matter is so dense that a tablespoon of its weight, it weighs how much? 40 trillion tons. A tablespoon of the material on those stars. When the matter gets so dense, the force of gravity is so immense at the core of that star that it is liable to collapse internally from its own weight. And the millions and millions of tons of matter just disappears into the black hole. In the space, black hole is a bottomless hole with zero volume. When you ask even NASA scientists, NASA people, where did this all matter go when the star collapsed? Where did the matter from the star go? They would say, we don't know. It went to black hole? We don't know. Now, in wonder, Arjuna sees that this whole vast universe of instant change in one place of Lord. The deeper we probe into the nature of the universe, whether it is the vastness of space or the infinitesimal world within an atom, the more we shall see the glory of Lord revealed. So it is up to our imagination to see where the Lord is. During the childhood pastime of Sri Krishna, he also revealed his cosmic form to his mother Yashoda. The Supreme Lord had hidden his mystic opulences and was playing the role of a little child with the pleasure of his devotees. On eating mud one day, when Yashoda asked Sri Krishna to open his mouth, he revealed within it the vision of his cosmic form by his yoga maya, by his yoga power. Yashoda was overcome by the spectacle when she saw on the verge of swooning when Krishna touched. When she saw, she almost fainted. Krishna realized this, that she is in awe. So Krishna touched her and brought her back to normalcy and then erased this incident from her memory. Otherwise, she would have never looked at Krishna as her son, but she would have looked at him differently. Okay, slok number 14. ततस्य विस्मयाविष्टो हृष्टरोमान्धनञ्जयः प्रणम्य शिरसा देवं कृताञ्जलिरभाषत. ततस्य विस्मयाविष्टो, तत, thereafter, so he, vismaya avishta, covered by utter surprise. Hrushta Roma, with his body hair standing on the end, romanchit, due to the shocking great surprise. Pranamya, to offer obeisance, to offer namaskara. Shirasa, with the head. Devam, to the Paramatma. Kritanjali, with folded hands. Kritanjali. Abhashata, he began to speak, he began to say. Then Arjuna, full of wonder, with hair standing on the end, he bowed his head down before the Lord and addresses him with folded hands. What is it? That we'll see in the next sloka. But seeing the cosmic form of God, Arjuna was amazingly overjoyed and amazingly wonderstruck also. How would a human mind imagine the unearthly and heavenly wonders that he saw in the divine body of God? No doubt human mind can imagine many things, but Arjuna saw it was beyond his imagination also. It was both blissful and shocking, which he could not stand anymore. When we have the good fortune of meeting a spiritual guru, we get profound feeling of bliss. Likewise, when you meet, say, Jagat Guru Shankaracharya of Sringeri Peeth, you become speechless looking at his aura and his majestic luster. Or why go far? When we meet our own Pujya Swamiji in Geeta Pariwar functions and he looks at you smilingly, you become speechless. You don't know how to respond. Such a mesmerizing effect it has. What can we do in such a situation? The only thing left to us to do is just bow down and say namaskaram. And Arjuna did exactly the same. Pranamya Shirsa Devam Kritanjali Vashata. So amazed Arjuna was now struck with deep reverence on seeing that the breathtaking spectacle of that universal form. It struck devotional chord in his heart that evoked outburst of delight. The elation experienced through devotional sentiments occasionally finds expression in the physical manifestation. Whatever is going on in mind, it happens that it shows on our physical manifestation. The Bhakti scriptures describe 8 such signs. What happens? This is called Ashta Sattvic Bhav, which sometimes manifests in the devotees when their heart gets thrilled in devotion. The shlok meaning is that which Ashtabhav, becoming stupefied, sweating, hair standing on the end, choking of the voice, trembling, complexion becoming very pale, shedding tears, and fainting. These are the 8 physical symptoms by which intense love in the heart sometimes manifests. This is what Arjuna experienced as his hair began standing on the end. And all these things what are mentioned is Ashtabhav. All these things happen in case of Arjuna. Going down in reverence with folded hands, he uttered the words that follow now. What Arjuna said is now described in the next 7 shlokas. In Geeta, the Anushtup Chanda and Trishtup Chanda have been very intelligently, very cleverly used by Maharishi Vedas. The change of mood is always indicated by shifting from Anushtup to Trishtup, which you will see now. In this case, from the next slok, the Trishtup Chanda will start. So, slok number 15. Arjuna vacho pashyami devans tava deva dehe sarvans tatha bhuta vishesha sangan brahmanamisham kamalasanastam rishinshcha sarvan ranganscha divyan. Pashyami. Pashyami is I see. Now this is Arjuna who is saying this. Pashyami. I see Devan, all the demigods. Tava, your. Deva is O Lord. Dehe, in the body. Sarvan, all. Tatha, also. And. Bhuta, all living entities. Vishesha Sangan, specially assembled. Sangha, specially arranged teams. Brahmana. Brahmana here means Lord Brahmadev. Isham. Isham means Lord Shiva. Kamalasanastam, seated on the lotus flower. Rishin, great sages. Sarvan, all. Uragan, the serpent, the snakes. Divyam, divine. So Arjuna is now describing, we heard from the previous 4-5 shlokas what Sanjay observed. Now Arjuna is telling what he is observing, that Vishwarupa. He says, O Krishna, I behold within your body all the gods and hosts of different beings. I see Brahma, Brahmadev, sitting on the lotus flower. I see Shiva. I see all the sages and the celestial serpents in your body. Arjuna exclaimed that he was beholding the multitude of beings from all the 3 worlds, including gods of the celestial abodes. The word Kamala Sanastam refers to Brahmadeva, who sits on the lotus coil of the universe. Lord Shiva, sages like Vishwamitra and serpents like Vasuki were all visible within that cosmic form. Pashyami devans tava deva dehe sarvasada bhuta vishesha sangan brahmanamisham kamalasanastam. With the divine sight bestowed by Lord Sri Krishna, Arjuna was not able to see the Manushya Loka only, but also the Swarga Loka and the Patal. He is seeing the entire universe with Brahmadev, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Mahesha, the destroyer, in that cosmic body of Paramatma. He saw Brahmadev sitting on his lotus seat, the lotus seat which springs from the navel of Lord Vishnu. He saw all the 3, Vishnu, Brahma, and Lord Shiva, under the banyan tree on the Kailash. Rishish Sarvan Durgash Devyan. Arjuna saw the sages living on the earth and the celestial Nagas, serpents, living in the Nagaloka. Nagaloka is below the earth, in the sea water. Now it depends on which Puran you are reading. For example, if you read Vishnu Puran, you will read that Lord Vishnu is lying on his multi-headed serpent, Sheshanag, with Lord Shiva and Brahmadeva standing with folded hands in front of Lord Vishnu. If you read Shiva Puran, on the other hand, Lord Vishnu and Brahmadeva are depicted standing reverently in front of Lord Shiva with their hands folded. Likewise, in another text, Brahmadeva is depicted as the god of all gods. So it appears that everyone gets the chance to play the god of gods. What's more, in Devi Puran, if you read the Devi Puran, you will see Devi, that means the goddess, to be the supreme of Vishnu, Mahesh and Brahmadeva. So all three are standing with folded hands in front of the Devi. The crux of matter is that all is Brahma and Brahma is all. That is why the Adhyatmic Gurus recommend to continue our sadhana of reading and contemplating Geeta, Vishnu Sahasranam, and doing mantra chanting, doing pranayam, because our intellect has not become refined. Our intellect has not become purified to understand and grasp the ultimate, the eternal truth. You can see the Paramatma in any form. You can see in the form of goddess. You can see in the form of Vishnu. You can see in the form of Maheshwara. So for now on, till we are not fully knowledgeable on this, we have to continue playing this game of God and devotee. We are devotee, God is God. And be happy with it. You are God and I am your devotee. Simple. Devotee is devotee. I am an ordinary devotee. You are the God. But ultimately, when we go higher and higher in our spiritual sadhana, our jnana will reveal that God is devotee and devotee is God. This is the ultimate stage of Advaita. There is nothing other than God. I am also God, you are also God. Everything is God, Advaita. So this is how the first Adhyaya, 11th Adhyaya goes, explaining about the Vishwarup. Further shlokas are very, very interesting, more knowledge imparting. We'll study those in the next session. For now, thank you so much for your patience. Jai Shri Krishna. Now the forum is open for all of you to raise your questions.
Thank you so much, Vikas Vaidya, for that wonderful vivechan and explaining to us Bhagwan's word in such simple language with relatable examples. As you mentioned during the vivechan, you too have built the imagery in front of us with your beautiful explanation. We are blessed to have come into the folds of Geeta Pariwar, where our spiritual journey is so illumined with the light of wisdom, be it in the form of learning how to chant Geeta Ji with proper pronunciation or thought-provoking vivections such as today. A quick reminder of the Geeta Maitri Milan Utsav and an opportunity to give special seva at the Mahakumbh Mela. Geeta Maitri Milan Utsav is being organized on Friday, the 24th January between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. at the Mahakumbh. Sadhaks from Geeta Pariwar are also going to be present with great enthusiasm at the Mahakumbh from 20th January to 12th February to spread the divine knowledge of Geeta Ji. If any of you want to join the Geeta Maitri Milan Utsav or the Divine Prachar opportunity, you can register for it by through the links which have been provided in the chat box. And please do not forget to send our Vivechan library links to your community so that your friends, family, and everyone around also gets the opportunity to get this divine knowledge. We now request sadhaks to please raise their hands and if possible switch on their video cameras to ask questions to Vikas Vaidya ji. Keshav
Jai Shri
Deshpande.
Krishna, sir. Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you so much for your interpretation, sir. Really, it is same like the video as she said. We were literally seeing the video. It is very nice. But yeah, I have two questions, sir. One is the Vishwarupa Darshan, as you have mentioned, most of the pictures when we see, sir, like we can see the different faces of demigods and everything. And, everybody, they are going into the mouth of Lord Krishna, something like that. Is it really scary? I don't know. It is like a destruction form of the God. Because in Vibhuti Yoga, he has mentioned that all his excellence, whatever the best out of best, he has explained. And here, I don't know whether it is like a scary or it is like a destructive phase of the universe, how it is we have to understand this. It's a vast subject, of course, I know, but you can give a few more details about this, sir.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Paramatma is not only Sattvic. At times he is Rajasi, at times he is Tamasi also. And he is beyond that also. He is Gunatit also. He is beyond Sattva Rajotamo, and he is also Sattvic, Rajasi, Tamasi. It depends on the situation, how we look at the God. In the battlefield, if you expect that the God will look at you with a smiling face, with a flute in his hand and a smiling face, then that is not appropriate. The war is there, people are going to die. And Paramatma says, I am the Mahakal. I am going to kill all this. This is what we saw in the introduction of this Adhyay. The shloks will come. Kalosmi lokakshayagur pravdu lokan samahar tumeh parvurta. That shlok will come. So Paramatma has taken a tamasi roop in Virat Rupa. Can you imagine God chewing the warriors in his mouth, the blood fountaining out from his mouth, and the heads are getting stuck in the teeth of his mouth? Some people are trying to move away from his mouth, and Lili say, with his tongue, he is pushing them inside back in the mouth. Is it a sattvic form of God? So that's why Paramatma cannot be labeled as he is sattvic or he is rajasi or he is tamasi. It depends how we look at him. Now warriors are looking at him in that form that they want to kill this fellow. These fellows want to kill those fellows. So if people are prepared to kill each other, there is no point in showing Paramatma his sattvic roop. He is showing his tamasi roop. When people are getting killed, he says, I am the killer. And that's why he tells Arjuna also, when the forthcoming shlokas will see, that Arjuna should not feel worried that he is killing them. He says, I have already killed Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, Karna and everything. You don't feel bad about it. I am the Kal, Mahakal. I am the killer of everybody. So don't think you are killing them. You just stand up and become a Nimitta Matra. That shlokas will come. But to come back to your question, Paramatma is not sattvic all the time. In this Adhyay, we see his horrible, terrible, scary form. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Dhanyavadaha, sir. Hari Om. Jai
Hari
Shri
Om.
Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Murali Das ji.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya.
Jai
You
Shri
took
Krishna.
us, it was wonderful. I never wanted this pravachan to end. It was like going in, really it was, then when I heard the other, it's coming back into the real world, it's tough. It was fantastic, Bhaiya. My questions may not be profound, but I do have questions. If God created the entire world and he's so good, we know that. Why is there evil in the world created by such a good Lord?
Why?
Why is there evil in the world?
Evil. Okay. You see, Paramatma has given us this life, and a fragment of it is also there in us. But two things he has given to us: the freedom to think and freedom to act. With these two rights given to us, the human beings, if we use it properly, we can attain Paramatma. Okay, we can attain moksha, we can become one with Paramatma, the Advait, what we discussed. But if we don't use it properly, then, because the freedom is given to us, if we misuse the freedom, and then we keep doing some karmas which will put us in repeated bondages only, life after life, then we don't get rid of this cycle of birth and death. So Paramatma has given this authority to us. Whether you want to get rid of this cycle of birth and death, okay, this is the way. You want to get entangled in your karmas and get bondage in your karmas and come back to this cycle of life and death, okay, that is the way. Choice is yours. I don't come in the picture. Paramatma is showing us a mirror only. If you do this, this will happen. If you do that, that will happen. Choice is yours. In Gita, many shlokas Paramatma says, Mata Manaha. That means this is my opinion. He never thrusts his opinion on us. He says, this is my opinion. How humble can Paramatma can be, isn't it? He says, this is my opinion. You may have different opinion. You guys are very scholars. You are very intellectual people. You may have different opinion. I have explained only my opinion. This is the politeness of God. But we misunderstand that politeness, thinking that we are superior, we have great intellect, we can take our own independent decisions, and there we make a mistake. So the freedom, if used properly, can help us to attain Paramatma. If misused, then it will put us in the bondage. As simple as that. Gita teaches us how we should take it, how we should march ahead on the path of spirituality if we think it properly. So Gita distracts us from the material life to the spiritual life.
The other question is, that's also simple actually, but in Devlok or any of the celestial, worlds, there is no pain, no hurting, there's nothing, right? Nothing like that, right? So why are Ashwini Devatas needed then? Why are they needed?
Demigods are not gods. God is one. Demigods are many. Okay. So God is also, the demigod also is a Bhogiyoni. Elevated soul, they become demigods. Super soul is only one. Demigods are elevated souls. They enjoy for a few years according to their punya karmas, and they also come back. So demigods are permanent holders of ticket to the Swargalokas or the celestial places. So they may have some weaknesses here and there. So Ashwini Kumar are supposed to treat them.
I don't know how we will be ever able to see the God, but you brought that vision very wonderfully, Bhaiya. I don't know, even if we were able to see.
First shlokas are more interesting, Murliji. First shlokas will really put a vivid picture of Paramatma in front of your eyes. They're so scary and so wonderful.
I can understand why it can be scary. Even when there are powerful people that come in front of us, sometimes you get afraid of their power, right? So when we are seeing that Divya Darshan, oh my goodness, it will be. Yeah. Looking forward.
I thought you could focus on. One is about whether this Vishwarup is a really physical expansion of Krishna's body or whether it is the experiencing of that Vishwarupa. That is one question I put in the beginning. And second question, which I said was, what is Vishwarup only? Whether this is the physical form of Paramatma or it is something which the Arjuna could see through his Jnana Chakshu, the Divya Drushti. Because for us, people like us, to imagine that this entire space will be filled up with one human body, one Krishna, maybe sometimes difficult to accept it. But to accept it as an experience, as an anubhuti of Paramatma, it is possible. Like many examples I give about show. See, when you say see the salt content in vegetable is correct or not. So seeing is not always by eyes. Seeing is by different senses. And when Paramatma gives the Divya Drushti, he also transfers his divine intellect and his divine mind. So with the three of all, divine chakshus, divine mind and divine intellect, then only Arjuna could understand, decipher what he was saying. Isn't it? Okay, anything else?
Shri Vidya, you have to unmute yourself, Didi.
Didi, Keshav Bhaiya is turn.
Yes, madam. What is the meaning of Gudakesha?
Gudakesha has two connotations, Keshavji. Gudak, Ish. Gudak is sleep. And Ish is the god. So god of sleep means one who has great control over his sleep. If he decides that I will sleep for 2 hours and 10 minutes, sharp after 2 hours and 10 minutes, he will wake up. So that is Gudakesh. Another meaning of Gudakesh is Guda Kesha. Kesha means the hair. One who has curly hair. Guda means curly. So curly hair person is also Gudakesh. And a person who has control over his sleep is also Gudakesh. Now Arjuna, from both these points of view, was a Gudakesh. He had great control over his sleep and he had wonderful curly hair. So he's Gudakesh.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Maya. The Vivechan was really good. Thing is, actually, in the last prayer session, we didn't had a sufficient time to ask the question. It got wind up. Now, I have two questions. One is this Kshetra Vibhaga Yoga thing. You told in the heart that in the nest we have two this thing. One is Jivatma and Paramatma. So my question to you is, when it comes out of the physical body, that is the Sukshma Sharira and the castle, this thing, when it goes, what happens to this Paramatma? Like the Jivatma comes out of the physical body, but what happens?
He also accompanies that body, which is acquired by the Sukshma Sharir. Paramatma's fragment also occupies that same body. But he does not do anything. He is only accompanying. He does not do anything.
But accompany will happen.
Accompany will happen. Accompany does happen.
Okay, okay.
Mamai Vansha Jiva Loke happens invariably with all living entities. Mamai Vansha Jiva Loke. That shloka, if you remember, will always remember that super soul is available in all Jivatmas, in all, not only human beings, but all living species.
Okay. And this, when you gave the session about this 24 thing, Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, this thing, you told that all, but I couldn't jot down. I could get about 15, but the other remaining I couldn't get. So if possible, if some note like that of the 24 can be shared.
I can tell you right now. Mahabhutanya hankaro buddhiravyaktamev cha indriyani dashaikancha panchachendriya gocharaha. Mahabhutanya, Pancha Mahabhuta. Okay. Ahankar, ego, false ego. 6. Mahabhutanankaro, Buddhi, the cosmic intellect. Mahabhutanankaro, Buddhi Ravyaktamevacha. Ekam, the Prakriti, the nature. Indriyani Dashaikancha, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas. 10. Ekancha is the mind. Okay. So, Mahabhutanankaro, Buddhi Ravyaktamevacha, Indriyani Dashaikancha, Pancha Chendriya Gocharaha. Indriya Gocharaha, the sense objects, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Sagandha, which are 5 in numbers. If you make a total of this will come to 24. But in addition to that, there are 7 vikars, which are also a form of body. Ichha dvesamothena dvandva mohena bharata. These 7 vikars also are a form of body. So 24 elements and 7 vikars, this is what the kshetra is made of. 24 elements and 7 vikars.
Thank you very much. And in today's session, through his divine this thing, Arjuna could see the Vishwa Swarup of the Lord. Now, if you see that Sanjay, Vyasa Muni had given him the divine Chakshu to see the war that is happening, and he was updating it to Dhritarashtra. Now, whether Sanjay also could see the Vishwarupa is one question. And the second of this today's session is when Bhishma was in the arrow bed, he gave the Vishnu Sahasranama to Yudhishthira. When after they won the battlefield, he came to the field and he asked, and he told, see, the Lord, he himself is next to you. While in the Vishnu Sahasranama, it comes. So why Bhishma in such a powerful and such a divinity this thing, when he could see the Lord in his normal eye, why that Vishwarupa was not given to Bhishma also is my second question in this session of today.
See, it is not everybody who can see that Vishwarupa. I mean, everybody cannot get that divine sight from Paramatma. Sanjay got it because initially, you know the story, that Dhritarashtra was actually son of Maharshi Vedyas. Like Pandu was also son of Maharshi Vedyas. From that Ambalika and all that story you may be knowing probably. So he wanted to offer that Divya Drishti to Dhritarashtra because all his sons are on the battlefield, and Vedavyas thought that he may like to see how his sons are fighting in the battlefield. So he offered it to Dhritarashtra. But Dhritarashtra declined, saying that all my life I have been blind. Now at the end of life, I don't want to see the blood bath. But still I want to know what is happening on the battlefield. So you can better give it to Sanjay, who was the assistant of Dhritarashtra. So that is the way how Sanjay got it. But Bhishma had no justification of asking Divya Drishti from anyone. In fact, he failed to convince Duryodhana to stop the battle. All three, whether you talk of Bhishmacharya, Dronacharya, or Karna, or Krupacharya, or anybody, none of them could convince Duryodhana that why we are fighting. Nobody could stop them. And they still, though knowing well that they are on the wrong side of the law, they still supported that. Now, how can you give Divya Drishti to a person who is fighting for injustice? He is not fighting for a good cause. He is opposing the good cause. So how can you give Divya Drishti to a person who is opposing a good cause? Isn't it? So Bhishmacharya, he was a great yogi, and that is why he was a Ichha Marani. That means he could leave his body at his will. That is the way when he was in the battlefield, Arjuna went to him and asked him, why don't you leave your life? Why don't you leave your prana? You are under so much of pain. But he said, no, this Dakshinayana is going on. I will wait for Uttarayan to start and then I will leave my body. So he was Ichhamarani. He sustained that pain of all arrows entering into his body, piercing through. He was a yogi. And the Vishnu Sahasranam that came from him was a marvel.
Yes.
You know, Gita Pariwar also teaches Vishnu Sahasranam. You know that probably.
Yeah,
So,
I know.
So Vishnu Sahasranam and Bhagavadgītā, one who knows these two doesn't have to open third book of scriptures. These two are more than enough for the whole life. Remain devoted to only these two, Bhagavad-gītā and Vishnu Sahasranam, more than enough. Nothing else is required.
Yes. So
I think you are mute. You are mute. You are mute. Please unmute yourself. Unmute. Please unmute yourself.
yeah, now only I'm able to do, sir. So Sanjay then was not able to see the Divya Darshana in that case.
Yeah, he was able to see,
Sanjay.
no? That is why he is narrating it to his king Dhritarashtra. The 5
So
shlokas from
Arjuna
Sanjaya. अनेक वक्तरेण अनेका दूरदर्शन अनेक दिव्याभरण दिव्यानेक कुतम दिव्य मालाम भरधरम. These are the shlokas from Sanjay only. So obviously he was able to see. Isn't it?
Sir, then this in this daily reading this, because I daily read this Bhakti, that is 12th chapter, Bhakti Yoga I daily read. And one thing I just wanted to know, Shreyo Ignanam Abhyasa Gnana Dhyanam Visheshate Dhyanat Karma Phala Tyagas Tyagas Cha Nirantaram.
Yeah.
That only I need an explanation, sir, whenever you are free. Maybe next section also is.
Okay, that is from a different adhyay, but we can discuss it.
12th chapter. Bhakti Yoga.
In Bhakti Yoga that Shreyo Jnanam Abhyasa Jnana Dhyana Visheshate Dhyanat Karma Phala Tyagas Tyagat Shantiranantaram. We'll discuss it in the next session because the time is going on and people may have question on this adhyay first. We can always discuss it. This is an interesting slok. Karma Phal is the ultimate. That is the meaning of that shloka. Karma Phal is the ultimate. Tyag of Karma Phal. Relinquishing of Karma Phal is the ultimate.
Sir, at the end of the session, we request you to tell the important slokas wherein we can chant daily, sir, after the end of the interpretation class.
Okay, fine.
Just
We'll
out
do
of
that.
18 chapters, which are all.
Yeah, when we complete all 55 shlokas of this adhyay, I will mention to you the important shlokas. Yeah.
I think we are little time constrained, so we'll take the last question from Santosh ji. And Geeta ji and Ajita ji, you may kind of ask the question in the next session. We are going to have 4 sessions for this adhyay. Santosh ji.
Jai Krishna Bhaiya, first thank you very much for so educative Vivechan. I will keep short. 2 questions actually. One about the 33 types of God. Indeed, that I was not knowing. I was still thinking 33 crore. How relevant it is for us to understand this? Because we never really try to understand these 33 types.
See, that is because people are making a false propaganda that Sanatan Hindus, they have 33 crores of gods. So that means we are directionless. How can we worship 33 crores of gods? So it is to answer to those people who are making this false propaganda that Hindus have 33 crores of gods. There are 33 types. That is what we have to tell them. That we have 33 types of gods, not 33 crores of gods. So Koti word has been misunderstood. Koti is the types, not the crores. That is the way you have to explain.
Yeah. And second question, short, the cosmic nature of Paramatma. Do we try to imagine it during meditation? Does it help us? What should we do about it?
No. Cosmic form of Paramatma should not be remembered during meditation, because see, the God whom you worship, his attributes start coming into you. That's why if you worship Kala Bhairav, your tendencies will become like Kala Bhairav. That's why we are told to worship Shri Krishna, to worship Shri Rama, so that their attributes come to us. We don't need the attributes of Kala Bhairav to come to us. He's also God, but as we discussed Tamasi form of Vishwarupa, Kala Bhairav is also a Tamasi God, no? So,
Okay.
it depends. See, when you sit for meditation, you try to bring that God's image in front of your eyes, and you try to become one with him. That Advaita, that you and me are different, Advaita becomes you and me are same. So when you and me are same and you become that Tamasi God, it doesn't help you. It is okay for God to take that Tamasi, Rajasi, the Sattvic group at times. But for us, we have to remain Sattvic most of the time. Otherwise, our tendencies will also increase. Like Vishwarup was killing so many warriors, we'll start killing the people around us. Will it be okay? No.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So Vishwarup is okay for understanding, but for worshiping, only two-armed Krishna or four-armed Vishnu is the best for worshipping. Not the Shatashota Sahasrasha. That Vishwarup, I would not recommend. Highly recommended is two-armed Krishna or four-armed Bhagavan Vishnu. Because ultimately his cosmic form is also a form of Krishna only. No?
I know some of the questions were not answered today because of our time constraint, but please hold on to them and come back next week with them, and I'm sure Bhaiya will address them next session.
Sure.
And now, thank you once again, Bhaiya, for that very absorbing Vivechan session. It was wonderful. And on behalf of Geeta Pariwar, I take this opportunity to thank each and every sadhak for attending this session. And we look forward to have you back next week for another enlightening and a powerful imagery-filled session of the Vishwaroop Darshan. We will get more of that. Sincere thanks to Sunil Dhootji, our tech star for today. Thanks also to the technical and the back-end team for the relentless effort in making this session a great success. And now we offer our prayers to the lotus feet of Bhagwan. And for that, we have Harvind Singh Ji from Agra, Uttar Pradesh. Harvind Singh Ji, who works in a private bank, joined Geeta Pariwar in November 2024. And in this short time has started giving seva as a technical assistant. Harvind Ji, can you take us through the prayer? You have to unmute yourself, Harvind Ji.
योगेशं सच्चिदानंदं वासुदेवं ब्रजप्रियं धर्म संस्थापक वीरं कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं श्री कृष्णं वंदे जगद्गुरुं ओम श्री कृष्ण.
Thank you so much, Harvind Ji, for chanting the prayers on our behalf. We will now conclude this session with the Hanuman Chalisa and Hanuman Chalisa. And as I said, see you next week. Jai Shri Krishna to all.
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर मनोहर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबेको आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबेको रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होतन आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
जय श्री कृष्णा।